Hello. Greetings. Oops. Hey, Paolo, Alexandra, Lee, Shirley, Tsukaboo, Jacqueline, Malvina, and Mikey. Hi, guys. How is everyone this Saturday? Merry Catmas. I like it. Oh. Hey, poodle lover. Right, so today I will try to ink this. This is a sketch, and paint it. And yep, that's my plan for today. I think this definitely shows better on camera. Ooh, hey Otto! Japanese curry sounds amazing. The earphones. I'm working on your painting, because this painting is the one I'm supposed to send Otto as our birthday gift exchange thingy. So hopefully I won't mess it up. I should really remove the tapes, that's gonna be annoying. Or just, yeah, tape them over. Did I say birthday? Sorry, I mean Christmas gift. Christmas painting gift exchange. I am not... it's kind of a weird mood today. I'm a bit bummed because I did like really not a long time on Photoshop. Like I had already sketched this on paper, I scanned it, I reworked it in Photoshop quickly so I could, you know, change stuff, proportion and sizes and move stuff around quickly. And the short time I spent on Photoshop was enough to give me some shoulder pain back, which is really annoying, which is why I'm wearing this thing. So I feel like my I don't feel super stable in my arm at the moment, but I'll do what I can and hopefully I won't mess it up. A bit shaky, which is not great for inking. Oh, that sounds really nice, Tsukabu. Tsukabu says, I finished my mom's Christmas present, a fantasy landscape Christmas themed. I don't have a carpal tunnel. It's not... the pain is from a nerve that pinches in my back, and it sort of creates pain in the shoulder, elbow, and sometimes the wrist, but it's these two fingers that get numb, and that's not the fingers that get numb if you have carpal tunnel. Carpal tunnel, it's going to be the other fingers. It's really just probably that I should like do even more exercises and work posture better and change my digital setup. We'll also see about getting an appointment with a massage therapist. Anyway. Took a couple of weeks to finish, but it's gouache, watercolor, and new pastel for the glowing light effects. Ooh. Santa and his reindeer flying through a stormy night. That's pretty cool. Lana says, I had this too from a spinal disc herniation. It was missing with the spinal cord and the nerves on the arm. Physical therapy helped a lot. I got a great, my clinic is kind of great in that it's a clinic that's set in a sports center too, so it has physiotherapy and massage therapist and many services all in the same building. So if I go to see my doctor about it, chances are you'll be able to recommend me to go see someone that works there also. I just need to do it, and I don't think that before the holidays is the best time because the doctor is going to be on holiday, the staff is going to be on holiday. This is not exactly something new. It has happened to me regularly through the years. What works for me is not icing, it's warming up. So when it gets really bad, I put on many scarves and I sleep with the hot water bottle, like close to the place that's all clumped up. I saw the best Christmas ugly jumper yesterday. Clearly the men's office was doing a Christmas jumper day at work. His was in black, grey, and white with Bah Humbug knitted into it. Hey, Heather! It's been a while! How are you? What's the Bah Humbug referring to? Hey, thank you so much, Pam. It's from A Christmas Carol. Scrooge always says bah humbug. Oh, okay. Is a sentiment is referring to a sentiment of hating Christmas. Aww. Aww, hi Havoc. Sorry, I was sort of messing up with the name. Hi Havoc. How is Dixie doing? Everything in the apartment smells of Japanese curry. Is that the what in the curry makes it so that you can't have any of it? The curry paste has flour in it. Oh no. Oh no. So it's a pre-made kind of paste with the roux in it. Dixie is doing fine. She's still getting dressing changes and antibiotic injections daily though. Thank goodness she forgives me. Aww. Well, she's a good dog and you know what you're doing at least, so. Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Otto. I will grab a spoonful of... Yeah, the curry paste looks like a big, thick chocolate bar. You make a good, flavorful stew, and then once everything is cooked, you melt in the curry paste. Oh, that's interesting. Here, this will be the bucket of KFC. I need to check if if a bucket of KFC has any kind of specific design to it, except for the kernel. Okay, that was just KFC. Sorry, that's really funny. No, 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 that's hilarious. I like it. I like it. Where's my pencil? Here. Is this fine? Like the cat is putting down a bucket of KFC. Ow. I recently did the micro and pen drawing of a cat. Would you like me to make one? I would love it, of course. That would be really, really awesome. That's a really... And I'm sure everyone in this scene, well, maybe not the hamster, but the cats and the seals would probably enjoy the KFC for real, so I know the cats would. I also snuck in a space heater, Japanese style. I really hope one day I have a chance to experience or acquire a kotatsu and a space heater with the room for the kettle on top to keep the tea warm. Come on, you can do a straight line. That is definitely not an authentic cat Christmas scene. You know how I know? The trees are still upright and decorated, there are no cats in the trees, and they are behaving themselves. Fair points, but there is food in front of them. I'm sure that sort of balances out the need to run around and break everything, no? How do you not fall asleep in a kotatsu? Oh, it looks so comfortable. But can you imagine how much more enjoyable it would be to like draw or like as a kid do homework with like sitting at a kotatsu? Because you're comfy and there's a blanket and it's warm. And I'm pretty sure the cats would hang around the kotatsu as well. I mean, a heated low coffee table with a futon covering it, of course you're going to fall asleep, yeah. Yeah, a kotatsu is a coffee table that you sort of put the table part on top of a futon, and you can have a space heater under the kotatsu as well when it's really cold. Oh, oh no, I'm so sorry you just sold the place. Aww. But I'm glad this is gonna serve as a nice reminder. You held on to the house for a long time, that's nice. There's a cat on Facebook whose name is Busao-san, and it's plenty of pictures of him like happily enjoying the warmth of a space heater. So I really like that Facebook account. It's really cute. Heather says that her cats were always food. Meh. Food is always there. Must climb tree. Destroy the tree. That's the mentality of my heathens. My cats are really more about food than anything else. They didn't even take a second glance at the tree I put up this year. Which is a nice change because before that they would try to eat the tree, which is not great. Lotta says no, we needed to sell the house. It has stood empty for 22 years, so it's lovely to have the space heater. Aww. Oh, that's sad. I find it sad because we had to do a similar thing with my grandfather's house. On my dad's side, my dad's family is really like old school French Canadian farmer type. Like my mom's side, my mom's family is French. My mom technically is French, but my dad is really like completely French Canadian, and we had to sell my grandpa's house when he passed because he was living in Saint-Ours, which is basically Saint Bear. It's a small city, it's a small town, and it was like an old school French Canadian house, and it sort of bummed me out that we had to sell it. We had to sell it, of course, but still it bummed me out. So it's like this is like part of history and part of our history that sadly we cannot really keep. So it can only live on in our memories and any kind of photo or paintings we have of the place. what was really weird about selling my grandpa's house is that when they sold it, the people who bought it, they really turned it into a gaudy mess. It was like insane to look at, because they got it and shortly after they tried to sell it again. So we were able to view the pictures of the house as they were selling it, and the house was unrecognizable. Like there wasn't a single space on the walls or like anywhere that was, you know, a plain color. Everything was it was a mess. It was a sad, sad, sad mess. It was nice though. Apparently the family that bought it wanted to also buy a lot of the furniture, so the house still has grandma's furniture in it and it's being used now. That's really cool. And I mean, was it bought by a Japanese family? I'm laughing at Heather's comment in the chat. Yeah, no, that's exactly. I wasn't really happy that the people who came in just. I mean, the house needed repairs, and it's like my grandpa's house had looked like that for the last at least 20 years before he passed, you know. So maybe it needed a bit of a relooking, but still, that was they really did the gaudiest thing possible with it. You know, the kind of spray paint you can use that has kind of a spackled effect. They painted everything with that, and like everything was multiple layer, like a base color that was super garish and bright, and then many layers of that spackling paint in all kinds of colors with the metallics in there. So it was literally going from a really simple space to something that reminds you more of Versailles than anything else. It was absolutely mind-blowingly ugly. And I was like, whoa, okay, that's weird, because from the outside, the house, they didn't repaint the outside of the house, so the house looked very similar to what it was before, but yikes. It was bought by a single Japanese mom with a son who's a student and another son whose house was destroyed in the Kumamoto earthquake. Oh no! Well, see, I'm glad then, because the house found a new life with nice people. I think I was sort of bummed because I immediately thought about my granddad's place. That became like really offensive when we sold it. I was like, ugh. And like the yard was full of plum trees, because my grandma and eventually the rest of the family, when my grandma passed, but they would make like plum preserves in the summer, like jam and all of that. So the yard was what maybe 10 plum trees, you know, the small yellow plums, and they would pick it up and make something with it. And they removed all the trees and put in a pool. It was just super garish because I spent so much time at that house as a kid. We used to, when I was born, my parents would live the other side of the street there. So, which was super convenient when they needed to have me being babysat by my grandma. They would just cross the street, drop me there, and go to work or school. So I've seen the house a lot. It's been, you know, in my lore as a person forever. So to see it in this state of utmost blasphemy is so freaking weird. Oh wow, that's cool. Grandma's house was solid. It didn't even have one single glass broken in the earthquake. Wow. Wow. No, why is a pool better than fruit-bearing trees? Because death rattle. I don't know. Maybe because I don't know. Perhaps there was a thing like if the trees were really old and needed to be cut down. Maybe that's a part of the story. I don't know, but maybe because it was trouble and you sort of if you don't pick up the fruits for consumption, you get all sorts of birds in there, and then all the fruits fall to the ground in the fall, and it's a mess, and you have to care for it. But you have to care for a pool too. So I don't. I'm not really sure. I don't know what watercolor I will be using. I've been thinking about it since I decided to do this painting, and I'm not sure. I kind of want a set that has nice Christmassy colors. She has too many choices. I do. It's probably gonna be a schminke set though. Maybe my simile set. I'm glad you like the little hats and earmuffs. I don't think, well, the hamster would probably not do so nice in cold weather, but for everyone else, these are just extras for the look, really, because cats, seals are really okay with cold, and cats, if it's not too cold, I mean, they have floof, so they're fine. Poor little hamsters, though. Did you set up the palette of all those schminky paints you bought, Otto? Aww. Tsukaboo, that's cute. Tsukaboo just said that their little dog just came marching into the living room full of purpose with her favorite stuffed toy in her mouth. A little hedgehog we call Hedgie. It's hard work trying to keep Jazz from going into torpor. It's just kind of like hibernating. Oh. I'm really excited. Will you be making a video about you swatching the palettes, Otto? I'm really excited to see more of your exploration of schminke paints. I hope you like them. I'm drawing this on good old Arches cold press, 140-pound paper. It's my good old reliable. It's so cute, Tsukaboo. Aww. Hey, Grace! Whoa, what? Okay. Whew. Because Grace came in and said, I just got back from taking all 3 animals to the vet. and thankfully it's just for a checkup. I always get a bit nervous about pets going to the vet. I'm waiting for the ink to dry and stretching my arm a bit. I will also have to go get some water. Not for drinking, but for painting. Oops. Crap. Heather, I think someone got access to your keyboard while you were doing... I wonder what the bottle of drink in the cooler is. I thought it would be like a sparkling non-alcoholic cider. But anything non-alcoholic would work fine. Oh, whoa, Malvina, I didn't know that you had to take Sigmund to get his eye removed. Ouch. I love that Havoc said hi, and also, like, she didn't just step on the keyboard, she also pressed enter to make sure we would see it. She's such a funny kitty. Okay, I will be right back. Just gonna get some water for painting. The eye was hurting him a lot, so it was the only solution. That's really intense. But I mean, not in any sense that it's. I'm glad that there was a solution to make it less painful for him, and it's not like he was seeing from his eyes anyway. Yeah, I've heard about kitty wine before. I think Catman Chris, the human that takes care of Cole, Marmalade, and now the two torties they have two of them. Ah! But he made a video about the kitty wine a year or two ago. It's basically like cold herbal tea for pets. I think the cat one has catnip in it. Hazy. I think elephants do it too. They eat amarula, the fruit, and they get drunk on it, which is kind of funny. All right. Ouch. This is the stressful part. Hey, Tobias, hi. Heather says, the craziness of cats increases exponentially with each added feline. Yikes! It's gotta be pretty intense at your place then. So Zygmunt has had 2 operations previously. He had a corneal implant. One eye succeeded, but one did not. He sees nothing like that anyway. He is cheerful and nothing annoys him. He's awesome. Such a good bird. Zygmunt is a magpie, for those who are unaware of what we are talking about. Malvina has a pet magpie that she rescued, if I remember well. The KFC bucket cracks me up. It's a really good idea. I don't know much about the US. I would venture the possibility that Chicago is in Illinois. Is that anything? Havoc was bad. Havoc. I'm glad the chat is full of nice humans and good pets today. Well, nice humans with good pets. Arches paper is really my favorite. The ink dries relatively fast on it, takes water super well, it's easy to find, it's not expensive, especially in pads. This is from the paper pads. It's cotton paper, it takes colors super well, it takes washes really well. Yay! The things we absorb through osmosis. Ah, I'm glad, Malvina. I'll try to. Do you post updates on his health on Instagram? I'm really angry at Instagram because I miss most of the posts I want to see, since they are algorithmed away. But I will try to specifically seek out updates on Zigmund if you post them on Instagram. Thank you so much, Pam. I'm finishing up my hot chocolate because it's now a cold chocolate. Oh no! Oh. Poor Ziggy. think I'm gonna use this set. Oh no! So this set is the 24 half pans schminke set, as it is when you buy it. Oh, whoa, that's pretty intense. So, I've never really seen that kind of surgery happen on a bird. I've seen it on cats a lot because feral kittens can get eye infections that turn really bad and they lose the eye. And it will never form a cavity because they can use the eyelid to seal it shut. Is that something that is not possible to do on a bird? I'm just really not super knowledgeable about this stuff. I was thinking of something. Oh yeah. Do you want me to color the cats in any specific way, Otto? I will color the hamster like Jazz. Jazz is really close to this color already. I will be using synthetic brushes for this, I think. I got a new where did I put it? Just put it there. Yeah. I'm trying these recently. These are the Princeton Glacier synthetic brushes. They're just a nice synthetic with a nice spring. So I'll grab a size 6 and maybe one bigger too. Size 10. Oh, you want them colored like my cats? Aww. Sure. I should have made one of them frown though. That would have been Scout. Well, today she's not super frowny. Today she's super like full of hugs and all of that. This is kind of weird. This set is really nice for mixing a nice orange tabby color with the chrome orange LF light fast. What's LF? Anyway, this orange and the Naples yellow, they make a really nice, a good base color and good variance for painting orange cats. And if you want to add a bit darker stripes, like more gingery, you can add a bit of the burnt sienna in it. I gave one of them a floofy tail though. Bird eyes are very large, so it has such a strange hollow. If he grows his feather, if he grows his feather, it will not be visible. He has a scar and looks like a zombie vulture. He's jumping around the room and shouting, singing if a magpie sings. That's really cute. That is so cute. I think if Scout is smiling, it's because she's about to eat. That's what I was thinking. Grace says maybe that's Scout. She's a bit scared but hiding it with a smile. Or maybe she gave her tail a perm before going out. Torties are not super easy to paint. What I like to do is that I put down a base layer of orange marks in spaces, and then I will overlay with the black on top, or the gray if it was a, you know, a diluted tortie. It's probably your first time being flanked by seals. Pretty much. Pretty much. Well, seeing the amount of time they spend grooming themselves, I'm sure they care a lot about their appearance. Are diluted tortillas liquid too? No, they're diluted because instead of being black and bright orange, they are like creamy orange and gray. So it's as if the colors were diluted, but I never quite remember how picking. Yeah, that's good, brain. I wanted to say pickles marking, and my brain just merged the two and made it into picking. Sure. But I've had pickle for what, 8 years almost. I still struggle to remember how our markings go. I would bring her up on camera if I could, but she's sleeping right now. And she's super adorable. Aww. They are Eve seals of approval after all. Hi, Han. So as you can, I don't know if you can see on camera, but these two colors, the Naples yellow and the orange, they have a hole in them. It's because I've been using this set quite a lot to paint orange cats. And the burnt sienna as well. So these are the three colors I use for painting orange cats the most. Do I have a favorite orange? Not really. It's super circumstantial of where I want to use it. What I would say though is that I've noticed that when you look at, say you look at any brand's full range of colors, chances are they're going to have quite a great number of reds and magentas, a lot of yellows and a lot of blues. But every secondary colors, usually there aren't that as many options, or if there are, it's usually mixes. Not that mixes are bad. What I mean by that is that you give me yellow and blue and I can mix green too. So I just mean that like when I was watching like the Renaissance paints, or when I look at these paints, on 24 colors they gave me one that's an actual orange. I have one that's an actual purple, and I have 4 greens. So all the primary colors, you have more options than the secondary colors, because you can mix the secondary colors with the primary colors. But in terms of oranges, because I haven't had many of them in sets ever, I don't really end up with a favorite. Like I have this one in here, and I use it a lot because it's there and it mixes into a color I like for orange cats. But if it wasn't there, I would figure out something different. So I don't really have a favorite orange. I saw in the class I took, the teacher would use this one, which is Sennelier, so I only have the number, but she would sometimes use this color to put down a really faint wash on the sky, cover the whole sky, and then when she comes in with the blue of the sky, the fact that there is this sort of orange base really makes the blue pop. So there are kind of a couple of things I like of the oranges, but I don't really have a favorite. I think the transparent pyrrole orange is really lovely. This one is PO62. I love it a lot too. They're great. I just got up on what Grace and Heather are talking about. Grace says, "Oh my goodness, that would be fantastic handmade watercolor sets, cat colors." Heather says, "That would be so cute, and if you include eye, nose, and paw pad colors, you could have quite a variety." Cutest sets ever. These are Schminke. A kitty kit. Aww. Poor Otto is still orange phobic. What bothers you about orange? The super bright red is a cadmium red, which is why it is so red. Peko is a ginger. She's really ginger and white. Kitty color watercolor set. It would be difficult to put together because I feel like either these pigments are hard to mold. I'm looking at you, PO62, or expensive. Like if I were to put together a palette, perhaps I would do it more in a way that I look at what brands offer in terms of colors and like suggest a selection of color depending on the number of color you want in your set. Thank you, Grace. Yeah, we already mentioned that one of the sides of paint making that doesn't get a lot of mention is the fact that paints are super time consuming to wrap up, but also some pigments are really time consuming to mold. And the earth colors are often the quickest to mold, but they are not the most vibrant. So when people in the past, it has happened, sort of, some people write to me and they say like, hey, I want handmade paints, I would like these colors. And some of them are like colors that I've never said anywhere that I would do. And there's a reason for that. It's either because I cannot find the pigment, or because it is hella expensive, or a pain in the butt to mold. Like some pigments, they are not worth molding by hand if you can buy them professionally at, you know, a good price. Oops. Okay. Well, a hamster that is not pudgy, there is something wrong with it, isn't it? Oh, thank you so much, Temple. Oh, I love these emojis, Paulo. The orange and the cat, that's perfect. Super vibrant colors, bloody hard work to mold. Yeah. Tsukabo, you remember the alizarin crimson that I sent you? How it's kind of a prototype. It's a prototype because the paint, as far as I can remember, works pretty well, but it doesn't look good because alizarin crimson was a pain in the butt to mold, and I couldn't make it in a way that came out nice to look at. Like the paint will work, but yeah. Yep. $1 million, yeah. Yep. So yeah, I've always tried to suppress a kind of a nervous laugh when people write to me and like, hi, I love your handmade paints. I will like these 12 colors, possibly in full pans. When can they be done? And I'm like, this is not exactly how I work. But yeah, Hey, Jenny. This is Jenny, right? Firecloud? Yeah, that's the thing. If people don't mind waiting and are okay with the price, I have no issue with that. Like I said, I've received messages about custom orders that were really nicely put and possible, and I ended up being able to work on them. But like Tsukabu is one of those persons. She wrote to me in advance and like with a really very long delay before and said, I would like these colors, what is possible, and we kept talking about it. Like at some point there were some colors I didn't think I would be able to deliver, so I just told them that and we worked with that. But I really received other messages that were like, I would like these 12 colors in full pans and can they be done in 2 weeks? And I was like, what? No. At least the answer is easy then. You just say, no. Bye bye. Sorry, but That's what it is. I think for me, the most important thing is if the person is willing to be patient. It's the same thing for commissions. When people write to me about art commissions, sometimes I have like other things on my schedule, but I know that I have like recurring people who ask me about commissions that are super duper patient, and they know like the first thing I tell them, I'm like, well, I would love to do it, but I cannot do it fast. It's gonna be, you know, a good price, and it's gonna be what I would consider good quality, but it's not gonna be fast. And most of the time people are like, sure, fine. And I'm like, you can pay me. If it's someone I've worked with before, they can pay me when I'm done with it. So there is not this pressure of them having paid for something that doesn't get there. Hey, Ellen, hi. Is it is it a knit jacket? Or is it a weaved thing? Yeah, that's the other thing I see sometimes, and I'm like, it's just like making knitting sweaters for sale. I don't see how that can be a really what's the word I'm looking for? Efficient way of having a business, because knitting sweaters takes a lot of time and it's a labor of love, really. So I think it's fine if you want to do it for like family, but it might be difficult to be stuck facing the idea that people will react in a way like, what, $300 for a knit sweater? What, are you insane? I can get one of those for like $10 at Old Navy. And you're like, well, it's not hand knit first. And I don't know if you realize that I put like a lot of hours into knitting this thing. So it's a bit difficult sometimes to find a good way to make crafts not a money sinkhole. No, it was the lining I had to replace, so it was sewing things, huh? Knitting and crochet is not very profitable because it takes forever. That's exactly it. Like, if you can crochet, you might be able to find a place for it if you can make like amigurumi or a small sculpture of crochet, like, because you can really make small things really easily, like cat toys or things like that. But for any kind of garment or even socks, I don't see how it can be profitable. I just spent 25 plus hours on a pair of gloves and no one would pay a fair hourly wage for that. Exactly. Which is such a bummer thing. I only crochet for friends and family as well. Mostly because I don't want to have to deal with selling it. I was looking at Scout at lunchtime and her tail is almost completely black. She's such a dark tortie, which fits so well into her narrative of being really temperamental and angsty kitty. Z makes really beautiful scarves, weaved scarves. I'm really excited. I hope I can I hope I can save up a bit in the time it might take for there to be some like cotton weaved scarves. But it's beautiful. Weaving, I've always found weaving absolutely beautiful. Restarting crochet is easy at least, and kind of fun to unravel it. But yeah. I think crochet cat toys are one of the best things you can do with crochet because they're so cute, and you can make it anything. Like it can be a strawberry that you stuff with filling and catnip. You know, it just, I love how easy you can adapt crochet. Once you know the basis, you can use it to make anything and everything. Like I've crocheted alien creatures for a friend. I've crocheted all kinds of weird stuff just from an idea, like, hey, I could make this thing, and I just either I find a pattern or I make one on the spot because it's fairly easy to create stuff with crochet. I've tried knitting because my grandma knits. She's amazing at it, but I think crochet is more my speed. Oh yeah, I don't know if you can post a link, Z, but perhaps one of the mods can post a link. I'm painting really slowly. But then I also just remember that my arm is kind of messed up. So perhaps that's okay. Knitting sort of terrifies me because if you drop a stitch, like I don't know how to save it up. To me, if I drop a stitch, the whole thing is a goner. It's done. While with crochet, you cannot really drop a stitch. It's pretty straightforward. Oh, awesome! Yay! This schminke set has a really nice, what they call it, permanent green olive. Doesn't look anything remotely olivey to me, but it's a really lovely color. It's this one here. It's a nice dark, warm green, like yellow green. I know I would just have to learn how to save stitches that have been dropped, but I've never learned it, and it sort of terrifies me on the concept. That's a good thing. Pam is saying that knitting seems to be easier on her aging finger and end joints than crochet. I think I agree, because crochet is really hard on the hand. My first set of crochet were just regular bamboo ones, and I would get such bad hand cramps after crocheting for a while. And then I got the clever ones that have the rubber handle, and these are much more comfy. So I figured that if I end up with more joint pains in the future, I might switch to something else. Fudging stitches is easier with crochet. I agree. Oh yeah, that's so cool. Otto, you've told me this before, but Otto says that she once spent a year only wearing clothes that she already had or made. I think that's pretty cool. We wanted to name, I think last week we mentioned crochet, or in another chat perhaps, but we were talking about calling it Hooker's Green. Calling our crochet club Hooker's Green. Ha 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 ha, paint joke, ha ha. I'm sorry. If you guys want to talk about crochet and knitting and stuff, you can hop on the Discord. Discord is like a small application that allows you to have chat rooms, and I've made one for the channel, but we talk about anything. There's a room for pet pictures if you want to post some animal pictures. We have a general discussion. We have, you know, all kinds of stuff. We have art talk, but we could easily have one for like knitting and crocheting and stuff. Yeah, I could call it just right away Hooker's Green in the Discord. So if you want to join the Discord, I cannot make the channel now because I'm painting, but I will make it once I'm done, and I will call it Hooker's Green because that's our joke. And you can join up, and it's free, and you can chat with us and post pictures, and it's kind of a fun place to hang out. So I think it could work. What do you guys think? I gotta say, Schmincke's Ultramarine Finest is a fine ultramarine. I am not a fan of ultramarine in general, but this one is nice. I mean, the color is always great. My beef with ultramarine is that I started with the ultramarine that didn't wet well, and it sort of traumatized me. And I've always been like, ultramarine, that stupid color that doesn't wet well. But I found out that might just be the brand I was using, because most, like, I've tried many other ultramarines and they did pretty well. Sorry, I was catching up on chat. Catching up on chat. I think if anything, Pico would get there with the wrong color of sweater. I love Pico, but she's not the sharpest tool in the shed. So hers is gonna be a bit pink. I'm trying to keep all the accents in the clothing like red, magenta, orange, because there's gonna be the trees in the backgrounds that are gonna be green, and I feel like it's gonna make a prettier contrast to have more red in the items in the foreground and keep the green and cooler shade for the background. Thank you. It's leftover in the pans, pale gray. I don't often clean my palettes. Cleaning a palette is often more synonymous with wasting a bunch of paints than anything else, which is kind of sad. you clean, it depends. Do you clean a palette when you want to switch the whole content of it? Because that I can see when I switch things around in a palette and a palette ends up with a totally different set than what it had before, I will clean up the palette because it's not going to be the same colors I'm going to be using. But if, like for this palette, I don't intend on changing the content of the palette much. Like, so I don't feel like I need to clean up the schminky paints because it's always going to be more schminky paints that I use on top of these. There's a pickle hair stuck in the yellow ochre, which is kind of funny. So many people clean their palettes, what? I don't really clean my palettes much either, as you can probably tell. Ain't nobody got time for that. Yeah, it's only when I change the paint that's in a set that I will see about cleaning the palette, see if it's necessary to clean it up then. If I use these palettes, these type of palettes, these I will clean more often because I have a limited amount of them and I always change the type of paint I use on them. But if it's a palette that comes with the paints in a set, I won't wash it often at all because I'm always gonna want to mix the same colors over and over again, so. I had to add a couple of chestnuts. I don't know what you think of chestnuts, Otto, but I love them. Oh, really? Ooh. I will have to check that out. That's something I'm really curious about. I hope they kept the green in there. The lovely PG8 green. But yeah, Lena says, did you know the White Knights have changed their 12 tube sets? They have different colors now and it's a much more balanced color palette. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! I'm so sad, although allergic to chestnuts. Oh, that's sad. That's a bummer. The greens are both the same in both palettes, but they added an orange, a cool red, and a cerulean, and have less browns now, but different ones. I'll definitely have to take a sneak peek at that, just because I'm curious. I know that Jackson's sells the White Knight sets, and Ken Bromley has the tubes open stock. I'm not sure which color I want to use to make the kind of tablecloth they're sitting on. I'm looking at a really pale yellow beige like this. I'm not sure. Yep, I agree with Heather. If you have the colors mixed in the same spots, it rarely needs any cleaning. When I had the weird Sennelier set, you know, with the brown thing, that the travel set, the tray for mixing colors had 6 or 7 mixing spaces, and I would always, like, one would be for the oranges, one would be for the green, the purples, this type of blue, and all of that, and I could basically go on forever with this assortment of spaces. Oh yeah, we'll paint the background trees, good idea. No, I don't want to paint the... Not sure about painting the cloth green because the trees will be green. Okay, let's... I am using cobalt green dark for the trees because I find it really suitable to evergreens. Ellen says, I don't know how you guys manage to keep your mixing areas organized. I'm so not able to do that. Heather is a cattail monster. Heather. Havoc. Heather has a cattail monster, which is Havoc. Because Havoc has the floofiest tail ever. Yeah, that's what I was thinking also. Have the blanket be a light yellow and have some more blue purple accents on the ground and snow. What's a green that granulates? Well, this one is Cobalt Green Dark PG26 is a green that granulates. It's this one. cats I had, the cat I had when I was a kid was a male big gray cat, short hair. And at some point my parents had to repaint the house we were living in. So they called painters, and the painters repainted the house and all of that. But we had the cat at the time too. And yeah, so they paint the living room and all of that. And at some point I go like, hey, where's the cat? And I look, and the cat is sitting on a windowsill, a freshly painted windowsill. So my cat had beige paws and butt for a bit. Buffalo plaid yellow, that would be really cool. I'm just worried that I will mess up the pattern on this big a surface. I love Sennelier Forest Green is a beautiful color. It's one of my favorite greens, personally. Yeah, it's a really nice, rich, deep, dark green. Oh, I'm glad you like it, Otto. I just hope it stands the test of time better than my regular Prussian green. Not Prussian green, Prussian blue. Because that one has decided to be a bit weird. Yay! Yeah, Prussian green is a fun color to work with. Not because it was fun to mold, but just because I was happy with the result. I think I'm almost done at this point. Just trying to make sure I haven't forgotten any details. Ah, I'm so happy you like it, Otto. It was super fun to do, so no complaints from me, but it's always difficult to do something for someone else, you know, because you really hope that they're gonna like it. But I think Otto and I were getting to know each other quite well at this point, so if you want to see what Otto sent me, she mentions it in a vlog, I think. Just can't wait to have them framed. But I'm really happy to be able to send her this painting because something really weird, like in my family, not that my parents don't enjoy what I do, they enjoy what I do, but it's kind of weird. I don't think they can relate as well to it because they're not necessarily artists, especially my dad. So when I would go like, hey, would you guys like drawings as a gift, they will say yes, but they won't really it's gonna be like, oh yay, thank you, next, you know. not out of not in a mean way or a bad way, it's just not something they really understand. And for the longest time I was so uncomfortable with my skills that it really wouldn't help me feel good about giving people art. I was like, ugh. Would try sometimes, but since they would react and people who are not necessarily into art, just like, okay, cool, next, you know, I would be like, okay, you know what? I don't have the mental fortitude to take this right now, so I'm gonna wait. But in the last year, and I think that having the YouTube channel has really helped me, I've been a lot more comfortable with drawing, so I feel like I'm finally at a space where I can sort of make paintings and be happy. And if the person is like, oh, a painting, okay, thanks, well, I'm like, well, I won't send you anymore, but I will still feel good about mine, you know, about what I did. So I'm really happy that this is like first time I'm really excited about the art I'm sending out, if I can say that well, in a way, if that means anything. Words. Yay. Yay, I'm so glad you liked it, Otto. It's really cool. It was super fun. I'm really happy. And I will scan this before sending it because you never know. But it was really fun to paint and I love that. Basically, I asked Otto what kind of painting would you like, and she basically told me something with cats, hamsters, and seals. So that's what I did. Grace says, Ev, I just wanted you to know that Bob Ross is my next recommended video. You're in good company. I love Bob Ross. You have to be a weird kind of a human being to dislike Bob Ross. I mean, fine if it's not your shtick, but it's basically like someone who would say to me that they don't like cats. I'm gonna look at them a bit weird. Oh, thank you so much, Temple. I'm glad. I feel a lot better about it too. I've been, you know, painting a couple of things. Sneak peek. This is for a video that I will post eventually once I'm done, but I've also sort of been reworking the way I draw characters, and I'm you know, for the first time ever, I'm sort of making progress in a really tangible way. In part due to meds, and in great part due to the community and the channel and everything. So it feels great. And I am not young, so you don't have to be young to get anywhere. So that was my inspirational quote for today. Babraz is an awesome human being, I agree. I mean, if you don't like what he paints, I mean, just listen to him for the calmness and the knowledge. And if you don't like it, just don't listen to it. But I love Babraz. Sometimes I have his videos on when I need to wind down for the day. Yeah, exactly. I love when Twitch has the marathon, or when you can find his videos on Netflix. Ah, thank you so much, Blonde Lebanese. No, no, no. Otto knows a lot about paint. I love our discussions sometimes, like we can ramble on about certain paints or pigments, or just mulling certain things, which is kind of funny because I don't know many people with whom I can have this kind of conversation going. Alright, so I think that's gonna be it for today. My arm is not worse off than when I started, so that's awesome, but still I need to give it a rest. And hopefully it will continue feeling better. Yeah. I hope you guys have a really nice holiday season. It's gonna get quite close to Christmas for those who celebrate Christmas by next week. I will still be around, but yeah. So have a great time, have a great weekend, and the usual mentions. We talked about the Discord server earlier, and I will be making the channel for the knitting and crocheting and all kinds of the weaving, all fabric work in there. It's going to be called Hooker's Green. Hooker because of the crochet. Haha. And what else? Great big thank you to my awesome moderators, Grace and Otto. Grace doesn't have a channel, but Otto has a really awesome channel about watercolors and paints and all of that. So if you don't know Otto, which would be surprising by now, but who knows, I really encourage you to go check it out. I cannot check the dealership right now. My phone is in the other room. I'm so sorry. I really want to, but I have no phone. I'm phoneless. Yeah, the very last thing I like to mention is that I have a PO box. So if you feel like sending in any kind of postcards, it can be funny, cute, pretty postcards. My favorite is ugly postcards because those are hilarious, but really any kind of postcard, I'm super excited to get mail from all kinds of places. So everything is in the description or in the chat right now because my moderators are awesome and they're posting all the links. So yeah, have a really great time, great weekend. Thank you so much everyone for being there. And I hope you take care and watch out outside because if your weather is anything like mine, it's gonna be icy. Bye bye guys.